Get started today. So, first of all, thanks for coming. I think the big announcement is, and I hope I'm not out of line, but we're not having a Board of Trustees meeting next week. If y'all haven't heard that yet, there will not be a Board of Trustees meeting. So there's nothing to really talk about for the Board of Trustees. But the reason why we had scheduled this in December was because we thought there was going to be one. So, I mean, otherwise we'd have probably not. But since we're all here, and Merry Christmas to everybody, we'll be good. Anyway, so I think we could probably move through relatively, quickly through the agenda, do the updates that we got to do, and discuss anything that we got to discuss. I don't think there's nothing much we had to call out for this one, but I do want to talk about next month's meeting when we get toward the end. So with that, that's kind of the open comments. We can get to the agenda item 2, water precipitation drought update. And Adam, do you want to highlight anything for us?
I just want to mention that the San Marcos spring flow is extremely low. And when you look at the presentation, you can kind of see that there's a gray line at the top of the graph. And then you can see what the actual flow is, and it's really low, and it is having an impact at our Hayes Caldwell plant, where we're hardly able to run our intake on the San Marcos River because the water level is just right over our intake. So there's debris and there's all kinds of stuff that we're fighting out there.
Adam, that gray line is the average?
It's the average flow, and that's where it should be at, is around that gray line. You can see there's a huge gap between what it's actually flowing.
You talking about this chart right here?
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there any, I know we mentioned this, the San Marcos intake last month. So it sounds like it's gotten a little bit worse than even last month.
Yes, it has.
What are kind of the mitigating factors? I mean, how can you mitigate? Is there a way to mitigate?
I think there's I guess there's a way. From what I understand, I've talked a little bit with McMullen about this, is that we can clean up some vegetation around it and try to do that. And also looking at other ways that we might be able to get that intake a little bit lower.
Yeah. I mean, this affects you guys pretty bad, right? Are y'all feeling the effects yet? No? Okay. That one's one to watch. I mean, I think we should probably come back in January and discuss it more deeply. I mean, do we need to, is there something staff can handle, or is it something we need to do a project for?
We need to engage a firm to look at options. It's going to be a costly fix. It's not going to be cheap. Because my speculation, it's going to involve to some degree a stilling well, beside the river, that we can put a pump in that's going to be deep enough and have enough volume in the well that's not going to suck air.
That sounds like the intake that was proposed in the expansion project.
Yeah, and you'd mentioned that was looked at before, so we need to.
That's part of the Hayes Caldwell expansion project, is a intake structure that is basically a vertical and then a horizontal. And right now, if I remember correctly, there was a discussion about doing a bore like this, and I think it's now just a straight vertical channel and horizontal channel where the water comes in and the pumps all sit,
Right.
just in 100 feet, 200 feet, 300 feet, almost a football field into the property.
Right, and it's a vertical difference of 80 feet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be a 20-foot deep pit. So,
Is that already contained in the expansion?
It is, but there's discussion on how much further does this project go along? Does it need to end? Was the intake necessary? And the discussion so far has been intake wasn't necessary, but it's potentially necessary just due to the low river flow. So that's something that we need to keep the Hayes Caldwell group, understanding, because it was my understanding we wouldn't need that big intake and expensive intake. But if there's a potential for it, obviously it will be a different type of intake than what was initially proposed, because it may not need as much water through it, but it's still, the intake was a significant cost. You remember off the top of your head, either one of you? I can't remember.
I mean, it was the most expensive
It was
part of the project.
It was very expensive.
Well, I mean, it's concerning because we may not be able to wait for that project if this keeps happening, right?
You know, that intake has been discussed for a long time. There's been discussion of a rock berm a few hundred feet downstream. If it ever washed out, we were going to lose it.
And
I kind of feel like this is just another one of those discussions.
Mm.
So we'll see. I mean, I think it'd be good to get somebody to look at it.
I thought it was being designed to be like something kind of like similar to the old pumps here, like a
wet well.
a wet well that
Yeah.
not only was it the San Marcos, but it was the GBRA that was going to go into it as well.
It was.
All right, I guess, I'm not familiar with it, right? So I haven't seen it yet. So, I mean, I'm not much help, but I mean, I think it's just something we need to keep an eye on.
So,
But-
Terry, kind of ancillary to this discussion, talking about needing to engage a firm. I think I may have asked you this before. It may have been a while ago. Do we need to, go back out for an RFQ for some general engineering services so you can have, a pool to pick from for any number of these smaller projects? Yeah, on-call engineering for, the next 3 to 5 years. Is that something that, because I know you haven't been a part of that yet. I think that happened before you got here, and I don't even know if it really ended up being a selection of people for general engineering services or not. Right now, you just kind of take your engineers on your bigger project and say, hey, can you do this over here? Is that something that you need?
So that's essentially what we have with 3 of the firms right now is just, general task order based contract. So I think it bears further discussion, to decide whether we want to continue to use those contracts or if it's time to, put out a fresh RFQ and get new contracts in place. All 3 of them are working on pretty big, projects right now.
Yeah, I think, and I don't want to dictate, you work with them, if they have the adequate resources, if they're being overworked, if you have the right level, right? Because you don't
Right.
need your 500 employee firm, doing a,
Yeah.
mile pipeline or something like that.
That's
So
what I do.
you can evaluate whether you have that, but I
Yeah.
think you probably have the support from this group if you did need to add 1 or 2, maybe not necessarily replace what you have existing, but if there's some supplement, like, oh, I need a bigger firm or I need a smaller firm, whatever it may be.
Yeah, it's something definitely that, is under continual consideration of, where we need to go with that. But yeah, we're going to be taking a look and see. My initial inclination is not to add yet another firm when we have the ones that we do have. But there's a lot of facets to that so.
All right. We did that recently too. I mean, within the last year or so. I've got fresh RFQs and stuff, that I could share if you want to go that route. All right. So anything else on the drought?
We have them
update?
too. We had to lower at our Lake Placid and we're getting a new intake put in. So if you need some RFQ stuff, we can help you play that game too.
Do you have a initial cost estimate on that?
Do we have an initial cost estimate?
Yeah, Keith, you got a cost estimate?
Yeah, we can't afford the engineering. That's what-
Was there any drawings or anything from when it was being designed way back in 2017? Is there anything that we can look at to pull from?
With the expansion project? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, that project was fully designed for everything right away. And then it kind of got phased out with the history. And so my understanding is, yeah, there's detailed engineering drawings on that intake. The question will be whether it needs to be to that scale or not. If there's some cost effective measures we can use, as y'all are all aware, some of that project had some Cadillac stuff in it that really needed to be brought back a little bit. And so, that may bear a little bit of looking into on whether y'all still need an intake that size or not.
Okay.
Any other discussion on that one?
Yeah, Carrie, do the firms that we have now, do they have hydrologists on staff, people that might be qualified for like a rainy well type of situation that we're just discussing?
I would say likely so. They're a pretty large firm. So that's where we would first look at, as an option to get something like that done. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on to item number 3, treated water production update. Adam, what you got, man?
Just to make note that we came in well underneath our capacities due to the fact that we were meeting drought restrictions earlier in the year. So we're doing good there. Nothing more to add. unless there's any questions.
Any discussion from the group on the report side? Last month, we didn't have this, so this month we do, so. Any questions on it from anybody?
So at the last Board of Trustees meeting, there was a request from Mr. Ramos to identify any, significant discrepancies between what was metered out and what was actually produced, because there was a significant one last month. So moving forward, if there's any, blips like that that are appreciable, we'll give a reason why. And I think the main reason on this one was because of the pilot studies. Is that correct, Adam?
Yes.
Was there a significant discrepancy or was it a couple acre feet? I thought it was 1 or 2 acre feet.
A couple acre feet's a lot of water.
Sure, yeah. But in the grand scheme of a contract of 3,000 acre feet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But, no, I'm not sure the exact number,
Okay.
but it was noticed, so.
But is it because Adam's data is collected differently than the meter reading for the billing? Is that what he's asking?
No, actually, well, it is for Lake Dunlap Wells Ranch side, because when I do this reporting, I use SCADA meter reads, which are taken at different times of day than when our meter readers actually go out and read
For
them.
billing, yeah.
The Hayes Caldwell facility, however, those guys are out there reading their meters every day. And so I do use their manual reads in this report. And yeah, there was a significant difference between the raw water and the treated water. And that's because we've been running these pilots for the last 2 months.
So on the Hayes Caldwell side. then.
Yeah.
So nothing over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was his question. Okay, I got it. So it's for the filter shaft.
And I'll bring up another problem, just so everybody's aware of it. That Canyon Regional really needs to have at least 10% more raw water than they have for the contracts, because it's a surface water treatment plant. Is it fair to say a 10% loss in treatment?
It's fair to say, yeah, if we go over 10%, then there's a problem. But yeah, we generally use about 10% as our production water that we use to clean our filters.
And so when your raw water matches your water that needs to be delivered by contract, and then you have distribution losses too, we really need to identify some additional water there to just take us a little bit further above, to make sure that if someone needs all of their water, we're not telling them, oh, well, there's production losses or there's line losses and stuff. So, I think that's important to remember for the Hayes Caldwell group.
Okay.
Adam, do you have these meters tested by someone like Fluid Meter?
We do every year. Yeah, we go through and we test them. And sometimes we call them in if we have any questions on whether or not we feel like the meter is not reading correctly. Sometimes we'll bring them in, on special occasions.
Okay. All right, any other discussions or questions, sir? Okay, good on that one. Okay, let's go to item number 4, treatment plant improvement projects. Gary, what you got on this today?
Mr. Rodriguez?
Or Bobby?
Let's knock it out. I guess I'll start off with, we had the Reedville pre-con yesterday. It's not on here, but we had the Reedville pipeline pre-con yesterday. So we're looking at a start date here pretty soon. Start date was yesterday, but there's gearing up and getting out there and start, flagging their easements and all that good stuff.
Was any of my staff involved in that pre-con?
Not that I know.
That's a problem. That needs to happen. I mean, we own part of that pipe too, the pipe you're connecting to. And we need to be a part of the planning of all tie-ins and stuff. So if you need to set something up with me and my staff ASAP.
Okay. Yeah, the engineers so they can reach out to you guys and whatnot, but we'll keep that going forward.
Apologize for that.
Lake Dunlap strainer improvement projects. The oxygen line has been moved away from the work area. The backfill is going to be in progress, so we'll be breaking ground on that project here in hopefully the next 2 weeks. Okay.
I'm going to ask you a question real quick.
Yes.
I wasn't at the construction committee meeting because I was on vacation and I wasn't going to join y'all. There's a change order for that project?
Yes. Came in just from Garver. We had to, there's a temporary pad for the strainers, but during the, leg work, there's no locates done back there. So we had to do that afterwards. So the undergrounds that are there dictated a change in the path. So that's where that comes from. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get going on that in about 2 weeks, if not sooner. I don't have anything on additional membrane or the upgrade. Do you have anything on that one here?
I've just, that design's ongoing.
That's it,
Really
right?
no change in status on it.
Can I ask you a question real quick? So the additional membranes, that's to just get us back up to the capacity we need. Are we having the discussions on, whether a Springs Hill or Green Valley or someone else wants to, maybe go above and beyond to produce a little more water? Because they do have that raw water. Just want to make sure that we remember that there's a potential, maybe Crystal Clear may also have a little bit of water too. Just remember that, because this is the best opportunity, to, hey, if there's an incremental cost here, then I'm sure the entities that may want some more water would be happy to look at that.
This design will include capability to get us up to
Okay.
that, to
Thank you.
include that extra water.
So Mike's got some too, I think, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah, I forget the total MGD, but it should include all the additional water.
Okay. What about the generator thing? Did you already say that? Generator project?
I got cut off.
Huh?
I got cut off.
Nothing?
No, I cut him off. I interrupted him.
Oh, okay. All right, Bubba.
Yeah. Going down to Wells Ranch, emergency generator project. All the pads are poured. Backfill and cleanup is in progress, if not complete. Right now it is pending the electrical gear and movement of generators. That project's to resume in March, if not earlier. So we're just waiting on electrical gear coming in.
Okay. So it's moving slowly forward.
It is.
Okay. Okay.
Going down to, go ahead.
Sorry.
It's all right.
I just think it's important to have the additional context, because, this one is in litigation, and I can't remember if by last meeting, if I knew this or not, but, that the mediation for this has been postponed until May, with a potential, trial date in July. So, we still have to move forward with this either way, but remember that this one is under litigation. There's obviously the potential of getting some money back for the project, but either way, the project has to keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And there's depositions scheduled also between now and then. So
I'm just smiling. I'm following a similar path, I bet myself. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Anything else on these projects?
Those, I don't have anything else for that one.
Okay. Any questions about any of the projects from you guys? I think Justin made a really great point, right? Because, we did a fill line tie-in to like one of the meter stations, and I'm not sure we did a pre-con meeting with everyone involved. We probably should have. So, I think I don't want to miss that one, because we tied into a to a CRWA meter station, and I don't think we did it. We did our pre-con, but I don't think we had you guys,
Yeah.
and that's wrong. We should address that, right? To make sure that if we're touching other people's systems, our pre-con should include them. And I think I just violated it, right? So thanks for identifying that, Justin.
yeah,
Something we need to,
we'll make sure we do that.
yeah.
More inclusive.
Yeah, both ways. It needs to be both ways. If we're touching each other's system, we should. Because I was concerned, my project, right? I was concerned that we didn't coordinate properly with you guys. When our contractor, which happens to be y'all's primary contractor, Chromax, right? So it wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
But it could have been if we'd have had new faces. So I don't want to miss that one. We should take that one away.
I think it'd be good moving forward to, include everybody.
Yeah. It's just, better communication would be good. So, all right. Sounds good. Wells Ranch, Kerry?
He's got Hayes Caldwell still.
Huh?
He's got Hayes Caldwell still.
Did we do that one?
No.
4C.
Did I miss? Okay. 4C.
Phase one,
I missed that one. I'm sorry.
that's all good. Phase one at Hayes Caldwell, tank penetrations should be complete. We're populating a punch list, and we're hoping to have that project closed out in January.
The new tank's in service.
Yes. That is what we're looking for, hopefully, yeah.
Is phase one already complete? It's just now the tank rehab portion? The new improvements complete, now it's really tank rehab?
Yes, more or less. We haven't hit substantial completion yet. So we are populating that list, going through to make sure we can get it all. I don't want to say that we're complete until we get it complete.
Yeah, we're getting beneficial use of
Yeah.
the projects.
Okay.
Questions on that?
The opening's out there.
Yes. Phase 2, the ozone pad has been poured. The off-gas and destruct pad should be poured this week, if not already. Matheson Gas have been contacted. Matheson Gas has been in contact with us about arranging their needs. So we're moving forward on that project pretty well. Yeah,
Okay.
that one's going pretty well.
I promise y'all, I don't like to hear myself talk. But we're doing the rehab on tank 1. That was a bolted steel tank. Yeah. And so what's the process? What are they doing? Because we had that here and we tried to rehab a leaking tank and have been
They glass
relatively
lined.
unsuccessful.
Yeah.
But I'm just curious, what are we going to do at his Paul?
Well, the
Is it a glass
the
tank?
work that was spec'd out was from 2016. Okay, so tank's empty. We had the Dunham Engineering come down the day before Thanksgiving and do a walkthrough on it, you know, an analysis. So we'll be getting something back on what
Okay.
they think needs to be done,
Okay.
and we'll just move forward.
I was just curious. I know that these are similar and it hasn't been.
Wasn't there like a coating problem trying to do on those glass tanks?
Yeah,
I
they're
heard a
glass
story.
behind and there was scouring to try and get the material that adheres to it. And I definitely get
actually
opinions with engineers. So,
Yeah, the glass line actually poses a whole new set of problems compared to just a steel tank. So you're correct on that.
Okay. All right, Brandon.
Oh,
I just like to get into the.
It's like great news. I mean, I love it.
Real quick on the phase 2 improvements, we had to approve a change order. It's like, what's $4,600, something like that, for flashing on the building. It was an omission, but it was a cost that would have been there, you know.
gotta keep it waterproof.
Yeah, so that was approved. We'll be asking for ratification on that at the Board of Trustees.
I don't have anything on the membrane filter upgrade as of right now. And the mobile membrane filtration unit and pilot study, that would be
So we did have a meeting with the participating members to talk about the membranes and the potential for purchasing an additional mobile unit. We weren't really looking for decisions at that meeting, just kind of information sharing. We walked out, we've got some information together on our side. One of the things that came up is if we do look at a third unit, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Paul unit. So presuming that all three of the vendors that have under a pilot study would get approved for use at the plant, that opens us up to be able to do a little bit of negotiating. And so David just thought of that just right before Thanksgiving. And so he's working now to with the other two vendors to get some pricing and some, availability options together to see what we can look at. And another question that was asked is, what is our current capacity with just the two rental units running that we have, or the two mobile units that we have now? And also whether or not a larger unit from Paul might be available. The largest unit we have right now is the rental unit. I think it has 196 membranes. Is that right, Adam? Yeah. I have found out that is the largest one they have. So we wouldn't be able to let this rental go and just bring in another one to only have two trailers as far as that option goes. The other two might have a bigger unit. That's still information that we're trying to find out. But, so no decisions right now. We're just trying to get all the information we need so that we can make a decision on how to move forward. In the pilot studies, I'll let Adam talk about that.
Yeah, so the pilot studies are reaching the end of stage 3 this Friday. And basically, when they reach the end of stage 3, they've met all the obligations the TCQ have for them, the 90 days of runtime. And so they're going to have all the data collected for TCQ. However, each vendor has basically decided that, and Canyon Regional, I would say, that we'd like them to run another couple of weeks and do a stage 4 where they actually do some challenge testing, if you will, for lack of a better phrase, where they run them at higher flux rates, lower flux rates. And it's just a fact-finding mission to see how well these things operate. I will say that one of the goals that we had in this membrane or in this pilot was to try to run as much San Marcos water as we could, but that was very difficult because, again, the San Marcos River was so low. So there's some data there that we wanted to collect that we really couldn't because of the conditions. But the pilots have run well. All three of them had run very well. And so now it's just a matter of they're going to put the reports together, going to submit them to TCEQ towards the end of January, beginning of February. And then we'll hear back from TCEQ on what they rate all of these pilots at. I'm pretty for sure that they're going to accept all of them, but it's just that rating that they're going to give it.
Any of you guys have any questions about that? Make sure y'all get the opportunity.
Just that bin classification. Is there anything being done on pursuing that?
Good question. Yeah. Chelsea and I have begun to pursue that. We are talking with Focus Advocacy to assist us with maybe any kind of legislation or anything that we could look at. So right now we've gathered a bunch of data, we've gathered history, and we're basically just chatting with them about it.
Okay. Any other questions from you guys? Or do you want to show just any of the projects? You know, is anything we missed or questions from anybody on the projects? Okay, cool. Let's go to Wells Ranch. Carry the next part here. It's probably
So,
pretty quick.
Yeah, Wells Ranch 3/Bloomberg. We did have a meeting with the Wells Ranch 3 participating members to talk about how we're going to move forward. Trying to finish up the draft RFQ right now to get a firm to help us develop an RFP to get a P3 firm on board so that we can move forward with developing this project as a public-private partnership. Looking to issue that RFQ in January, get statements back in February so that we can get that moving along. Oh, we haven't selected one yet. We need to issue even the request for proposals for P3 firm. It's pretty involved just to make sure you get everything in that RFQ or in the RFP. So we'll bring somebody in to help us just develop that RFP, and then they'll be we'll bring in an owner's advisor to help us with getting the RFP for the P3 firm.
Slow going, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm interested in Wells 214 and 1. So I'm interested in what you guys got on that one. The next two agenda items are C and D. Yeah.
Right now, as of the other day, we're coordinating with the David McMullen operations to have a shutdown on 5 and 13 on either or 12/8 and 12/9. So he'll be reaching out to whoever's, in ties with that one to make sure everything can be shut down for a period of time.
And that's for what, 2 and 14?
That is for Wells 5 and 3. 2 and 14 will be begin getting scheduled after that because those are going to be lengthier amounts of time for shutdown.
5 and 13 is just for generators.
Generators.
Yeah, just for everyone's awareness that Well 2 and 14 project includes work at Wells 5 and 13, but just related to the generators. It's not an upgrade to the wells themselves.
So just power.
Yeah, just power.
Okay.
Jerry, what would be helpful once y'all have 2 and 14, 5 and 13 done, maybe we know that Wells Ranch, even when the generator project's done, it's not going to be fully under emergency power. It may be helpful to know what we have left to do once those are done.
Okay.
Because we know that there's still some wells out there that need generators on them, and I think even maybe the treatment plant may need a little bit more electrical power. I can't remember for sure.
So are 12 and 14 pumping now? Or no? Are they down too?
Yeah, they're pumping now.
As far as I know, 2 and 14 are still running,
Yeah,
doing what they
they're
gotta
coming.
do.
They are. Just so well one is just hard down, right?
That's the only one that's down right now.
And so from my recollection, well one, we were waiting on, we got the deed apparently, right? So the deed's there. Now we need the TCEQ.
Yes,
Approval. And
So I dropped the ball on that. I thought I had the deed in David's hands and I did not. So he just got it last week. He's going to get that signed this week
Okay.
to get it to the TCEQ. He's calling them to, try and expedite as much as possible. And we'll work with the driller to get them remobilized and on site.
and I had heard from the construction committee, and I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I heard a concern about if 2 and 14 and 1 was going to be down simultaneously, what that would do to us. But it doesn't sound like 2 and 14 are going to be down simultaneously with 1, or am I wrong? They will be.
One at a time, they will.
Okay.
They'll be down before we get 1 up and running.
I mean, so is that a problem?
It's something we'll have to coordinate with
Okay.
with the members to make sure that there's enough water.
Okay.
And now's the time to do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think scheduling's the issue because I think, I don't know if you got companies available there. Are they going through the wells is that just what they're doing on 2 and 14, just going through them, just doing maintenance on them or upgrading it totally?
That's for the short-term water, the
Oh.
920.
The 900
That's for the
feet
9
comes from.
Oh, that's for that's for the 920.
To
Okay.
be able to increase pumping capacity.
Yeah. All right. I'd just be worried about availability of well companies to do it, particularly well one. But,
The capping of well 1 that's in the bid for the construction of well 1 too, to get rid of the old well.
Yes.
Cap them.
Yeah, sure is.
so potentially we have something we have to watch pretty closely is bottom line.
Yeah, and if we had to, I mean, we can, delay one or the other. If we delay, 2 and 14, we potentially pay a demob and remob cost. If we delay well 1, it just, it's not remobilizing them until later. So if it turns out that, after discussions with the member entities, we think we're not going to be able to do it, that might be an option that we have to look at.
I don't want to not do it.
Well, I mean,
I'm just worried about.
not do the
Yeah.
upgrades until well number 1 has been.
I don't know if I want to do that either. I mean, as long as we, all simultaneously is fine if we can stand it, right? I mean, the answer to the question is, I don't know if we can stand it. That's more of a David have to tell us, right?
And you're also banking on that no other wells have any problems in that
Exactly.
timeframe. So my thing is if y'all can y'all delay that 900? Like how bad are y'all needing that 900 that y'all are taking from those 2 upgrades?
Well, I mean, the 900 took forever anyway. I mean, right, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I think, staff should evaluate. I think staff can evaluate whether they can increase production out of Dunlap during the spring when it's down to make up. That's the benefit of having the systems interconnected and
Yeah.
being able to catch back up on Wells Ranch production. If I remember correctly, even though you've got a permit, but you can go above that to some extent. And so there's some catch up to help offset what we may have done here at Dunlap.
Yeah.
So,
I would just think we probably need to have some, I use the word coherent way to looking at it. Because what I don't want to happen is, a couple months down the road, we're sitting in a board of trustees meeting, right? And something hits the table, we have a problem when we could have, kind of mitigated it ahead of time and got on the same sheet of music. Because honestly, that's what happened. We have another well go down. We'll be sitting here at the board of trustees meeting. It'll be an oh crap moment. And now we're having to do another emergency. I would like to avoid that. And I think we can with some planning. We're capable of doing it. Something we need to look at.
yeah, I think the danger of pushing it though is getting into summer where it's even harder.
Yeah.
Now you're talking about not doing it until fall, winter.
I'm not an advocate of pushing anything. I just want to make sure that we have a plan, that we can work in. If it's dialing back production over here and bringing it up over here at Lake Dunlap, fine. I'm down with it. I just think we need to identify it so we don't have an old crap moment, But anyway, that's my thoughts on that. Any other discussion about Wells Ranch from anyone? Okay, I'll keep pressing. General topics. Sierra WA Master Plan Development. Carrie, I think you're going out for an RFQ for that one.
Yeah.
I think that's good success. Okay, fine. Just, there might've been confusion, item B there. So, Michaela is collecting a primary alternate point of contact from all the systems. That's just so the staff here knows who is who. So I think you're missing a couple maybe.
All right, I'm just saying Marion, Converse, and Lavernia, and they're not here, so I'll try to
Okay.
reach out.
So we'll try to police those up, right? And the intent behind that is that we all have a contact list when we get in touch with each other, but something very simple is all it is. So thank you, Michaela, for putting that together. Item C, I wanted to talk about real quick. So kind of the plan is that we want to get out to the Hayes Caldwell treatment plant in January. And I'm hoping Justin will host us for the meeting part. I don't know if you mind doing that. And then, what date is it, Michaela? It's first week or so of the 7th of January. So kind of the intent there is we roll out, we get together, and if you don't mind meeting at your place, and we'll do this kind of huddle. And then, the feature event is getting out to the treatment plant. And I'm really excited to do that because I've never seen the darn thing. And I feel like an idiot when I'm sitting here talking about Hayes Caldwell because I've never put my eyes on it. And I would like to be educated. So I want to go out there really bad. So that's kind of the plan, for January. I mean, so we'll kind of look for, Carrie, you and the team here to kind of pull together how that works.
Okay.
But if Justin doesn't mind hosting us, we'll really appreciate it. And that'll be January's meeting, right?
Okay.
And then I think,
Yeah, the date's January 7th.
okay, January 7th. And
If that doesn't, if for some reason doesn't work for Maxwell Crystal Clear, we can also
you do it too.
host if need to.
Who's closer, right? Are you closer? Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to get proximity. So, I mean, if closer is better, because I know County Line's over there too, but y'all ain't as close, are you? No? I don't know. I'm ignorant. I need to get to y'all side of the river, period. And, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably so.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good to me.
Justin got that brand new boardroom. It's spiffy.
Oh yeah, brand new. I like it. And so that's that one. Any other general topics anyone just wants to throw on the table for future consideration? I really don't have anything. I think in January, once we come back, we go out to Hayes Caldwell. That's going to be it'll be a really good primer for me and, and helpful for all of us, I believe, to get eyes on something we've never seen before. Not you guys. You guys know it well, but us that are helping trying to make these decisions. We'll do that in January, and then we'll kind of go from there. We're not, like I said, we're not doing a Board of Trustees meeting in this month, December, so we don't have any business items to preview. Is there anything coming up in January that you know of, or not? I mean, you don't have to throw anything out now, but is there anything we should be looking at coming up for January?
Not that I can think of for the Board of Managers.
Okay.
I mean, I think just speaking of not being able to see, I don't know if it's worthwhile to provide some pictures of how bad the intake is, maybe with some measurements,
Yeah.
just something to show the severity of it
Yeah.
across the board. So that way everybody's familiar with that. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think it'd be.
You'll be going off road, but yeah, you can get down.
Yeah, make sure you have your,
Would be highly instructive. I mean, I think I am meeting with GBRA next week, and I am going to mention that this intake, here, I mean, just in passing, to see if they even at the executive level are even tracking it. But I mean, it sounds like you have something extremely similar right over at San Marcos. So I don't know. I think it'd be great to see it. I really do. But okay. Anybody have any announcements or anything the team needs to know before